This is Bring Your Own Lawn Chair. I'm talking to Nathan Winston. Fun facts about Nathan: he's on a cow at Camp Erdman Battle Challenge. He's a legend there. He's lived with me for the fall of 2024. He's been skydiving and shark diving, both of which I have never had the balls to do. And from one of the conversations I had with him, a little fun fact is he 3D prints houses. I remember that he does. His dad does that, or maybe he joined that business. But we'll find out here soon. Nathan, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for coming on the pod. We've been talking for the last 15 minutes about trying to set this up, going through whatever qualms we had to. But I appreciate you working through those parts, and now here we are.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be invited to come on this. I've been looking forward to it since you reached out the first time. So
yeah, I guess the concept is just to talk to people I've lived with or spent time with over time and where I've been. And honestly, I probably made it for my family because my family asks me a lot of questions at the dinner table when we go out and I visit back home, and it's just hard to put that all into one situation. And it's easy to do that if they ever want to listen. And if I ever get Alzheimer's, I feel like this is a good, healing process.
Absolutely. Yeah, great way to think about the life you've lived. Look back on it.
Right. You never know what will happen. But I'm glad you're on the show. I'm trying to build a portfolio so one day I can kick my feet up on a coffee table and not have to do all the manual labor I've been putting in my body the past couple years. So it's great to build a portfolio, and who better to do it with than Nathan Winston, my roommate of fall 2024, Hall AB.
Oh, yeah.
I made you a Husker fan in spirit, but I'm not sure in soul.
Yeah, I remember the games that we'd watch, or you'd be outside watching. I'd come sit down for a little bit. All your Husker gear around the room. You had your big red tablecloth, was it, separating the room?
Yeah, well, honestly, I really wanted your room. When I got hired, I was like, no way, I got hired. Hey Drew, is there where do you know where I'm living? Because that's always been a big thing for me. At Camp Erdman, I was always just I want to live in my own room. Well, mainly because I was dating Michaela the entire time.
Yeah, and looking back on it now,
as having a girlfriend, you're like, well, dude, I want my own space for sure.
Absolutely, but I mean, mine was long distance, so it was very much I'm thinking about now, man. You probably should have had it with me, but
yeah,
it was what happened, and it was a crazy season though. Of just felt like moving parts everywhere.
Yeah, man. Well, there's a list of questions I have for you. Whenever I interview somebody, I try to look at their Facebook and their Instagram and their LinkedIn. Sometimes I even pull that up. I try to really dive into who's been doing what. To be fair, I did not look at your LinkedIn, so you're safe there in that category.
Don't think I've been on it other than LinkedIn.
I don't think you. I just added you as a friend on Facebook today. I was literally living with you for fall of 2024, and we're only Instagram and Snapchat buddies. I was like, Instagram and Snapchat, that's crazy.
Well, I don't think I ever used Facebook.
That's okay.
Yeah, never used Facebook really, other than keeping up with grandma. So
Nebraska's a big Facebook community. You'd be surprised. But we have I'm a big fan of Facebook because I use Facebook Marketplace. That's about that, and I like to join a community.
Oh.
Reddit has the subreddits where you can just join, and you're it's kind of like your community, whatever you're trying to be in.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, so Facebook for Nebraskans is Reddit for the rest of the world, I feel like. But
that makes sense.
Reddit's also a very unused. Oh yeah, dude, I don't even know how to describe Nebraska with one cup of tea. You know what I mean? It ain't England, but it's something. But let me get into you, dude. Nathan Winston, my boy, my roommate from 2024. I have a question for you. What was the first memory of me and our first time truly meeting each other. First time I ever like we moved in together. But what's your first? What do you know?
Well, I didn't work. I was a camper in 2019, and I was in the captains with I think Alex and Tanner, because you worked 2019, right?
Yeah, I worked 2019 summer. That was my first year
And I want to
leaving Nebraska.
yeah, I want to say that I knew of you slash I knew you like as a counselor versus camper and like saw you around kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so like when I heard, hey, JP's coming back, um, well, actually, did you? I want to say you came and visited in 2021, right, with Sarge?
I did. So,
Surge, Surge,
Surge, you're thinking of.
Surge.
Yeah. So when I came back in 2021, I was bartending at Funplex. I made a lot of tips, and at like 5K in my bank account, and I was kind of kind of stupid with it, but I wanted to go see my friends, and so I just bought a plane ticket and a round trip, and I bought it for a week originally, and I stayed at Drew's house, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I was at Camp Erdman for like the first 3 days of it. I Ubered up there from the airport, which cost $100,
Oh
but I was
wow.
like, I got 5K, you know.
Yeah.
So I was now at $4,000, probably from the plane tickets, and then stayed with Drew. It stayed with Serge, stayed with Marion, who's a great person, Hannah, Jimmy. I stayed with all of them and their dog.
Mhm.
I think their dog's named Bill, and Bill was like sleeping in between my leg. But I stayed at a lot of places. I ended up extending my flight while I was there for a good week and a half to see Callie and
Mhm. Yeah.
Caitlin. I stayed in their
Yep.
place, and then my friend from Nebraska, my roommate of 2019 fall, flew out, and I was hanging out with him and his roommates, and everybody like of 2019 was in Hawaii at the time. Like either they moved away and they were just on a trip, and we all made it work. It was just
That's
like
awesome.
everybody you wanted to meet up with and more, and it was at the same exact time, so it went great. But so I ended up extending my flight for 2 more weeks. I stayed in Hawaii instead of
Oh
I
wow.
got my shifts covered at the bartending job in Nebraska, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep staying out here. And that's kind of like the vibe I've been on every time I want to. Every time I'm there, I just want to be there. But
Hmm.
yeah, man.
Yeah. No. So I want to say that that's probably the first time that I actually like met you, barely, briefly. And then so when I heard you were coming back and be my roommate kind of thing, because I had already been there that whole year of 2024. So like I had the ability to move in a little early and the ability to like kind of maneuver where I wanted to be because I'd been living in the annex and then lived with kids right in the cabins across the street and then moved into C, which is actually where I'm living right now. I'm living in that same back room.
Who's your
Um,
roommate? Who's your
so I have two. So it's Ryan Crow, which
yeah?
I don't think you've met him, and then another guy named Chris. So he's there all the time. So it's great. It's a lot of fun.
How's the work? Like you got two people in the back, three people in the back.
One lives pretty much with his girlfriend, so he spends his time over there. So it's not really three of us; it's more two of us. So
Can I get your
it's
description of how big a hallway is for three guys?
oh gosh,
Tell me exactly how much square footage you have to live.
I
Like,
want to. I would usually describe it as 10 by 10, but I think it's actually like 15 by 15. But like including the bathroom and the wall in the middle, you really don't have a ton of room. Um,
there's a little
Especially when there
sink
are
too.
little sink and but like in summer there's going to be four people living in those hollies. And last summer there were four. So like you got to think like I'm lucky to have two or three, you know.
The size of my bedroom is probably like 12 foot by 12 foot right now. And you know how pleasant that would be in Camp Erdman? Like if you had a
Very
just,
nice.
I have a queen size bed, you put that thing in that room, nobody can walk anywhere.
Well, I so
In a
when I
hallway, dude,
moved, I knew I was moving into C out of the annex, and I moved into C, and nobody was coming yet, and I stayed there over winter break,
yeah.
and I'll have to send you pictures, but I completely ripped up that back room, redid the flooring with those like wood plank floorings, repainted it, sealed the bottom, got a handle on that back door, put new like
Dude,
every.
remember we installed a toilet together.
Yeah, we did install that flooring, which helped me a lot in like knowing what to do, and it's still there. But completely,
Yeah,
I mean, that hallway is probably the nicest hallway just because everything's been redone in the last year or two.
yeah, dude, good on you. You good on you.
Yeah, but now it has a bunk bed that's both like queen size beds, so it's chilling in the bag.
Yeah. Well, dude, I miss living there with you. I miss like everything about going shelling and talking about the shells we found, and honestly, just having you out there on the porch watching a Husker game with me. That was every time somebody watched it with me, I was a happy guy because
Yeah, you were.
we, I brought the emotion, and you ended up probably not just sympathizing but empathizing with it because I was so emotional about it in
Well, I
Nebraska.
remember you being mad all the time about the game.
That's Husker football for you. I
There
tell
was
you what, Nebraska just
you would
it
watch
really
it.
makes you sad sometimes. Recently.
I remember you watching it, and if they lost, like you'd like not hermit, but like not want to talk to anybody for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I go to my room and be like, put my big red curtain up, and I'd go in my bed and I'd be like, I've already had 12 beers. I'm going to bed. Classic Husker football day.
uh,
Yeah,
for sure.
but it's not just about that. I got a few more questions up my sleeve for you, if you're down to answer them.
Ask
Uh,
away.
all right. Where did you grow up, and where did your story begin as a baby?
Oh, as a baby, gosh. Well, I was born in Maryland. My dad is military, or he's retired from the army. So I military family. So moved a lot around a lot. So started Maryland, moved to Kansas, and then moved to Hawaii when I was 4 years old. And we got lucky enough to get stationed out here in one go for 7 years straight. So in the same house, kind of grew up in that house. And then moved to Michigan for 4 years, and then moved back to Hawaii. And then I graduated high school. I stayed a little bit longer, and then I left to go back to Michigan. Um,
Michigan
went to college.
State, right?
I went to Michigan State there for a little bit, and then I was like too cold. So too cold. Not really happy with the friends. Like I didn't really make many friends, and I had come back in summer of 2023.
I couldn't imagine being in your shoes being so cold. Like from
Yeah,
Hawaii and at 4 years old to Michigan State, dude. It sounds so
it
cold.
was it
Sounds like a
was it was
drastic change.
freezing. But no, I came back to visit for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
I had the best time of my life. Realized, man, I made so many friends in that short amount of time, and I'm like, this is where I have to be. I gotta be here. So
Yeah.
I went back to Michigan after the trip. Was there for a month. Got out of my lease, moved back, and I've been in Hawaii ever since. And I've worked at camp. You know, lived with my parents until that next February, and then Drew is like, "Hey, this guy just left. You want a full time job?" And then I moved in, and I've been there for pretty much ever since.
Nice, dude. Well, my
Yeah.
third question is how was your early childhood years? Like you grew up 4 years old starting in what hometown was your first hometown? And
Uh,
how was
when I
that?
moved to Hawaii, or when I moved to
I don't know.
wherever.
What's your first memory is a good start.
Oh gosh, I mean bits and pieces of Kansas when I was really young, but I would probably say that my childhood started at Oahu on Schofield Barracks military base here
So like Central
in Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah, so that's went to elementary school there, grew up there for the most part in childhood.
Nice.
It's a wonderful thing because all these kids are adaptable. They have to make friends really fast, move schools all the time. So it's hard to do because you do lose those friends pretty
Mm-hmm.
quickly. Just they move away. But it is beautiful in the sense that you can go around and like I would do this growing up. I would go every new neighbor, everybody when I first moved in, go knock on the door. Hey, do you have any kids my age? Hey, come on, my name's Nathan. Let's go out and play. Like,
Yeah.
you know, trampolines, go hop on the trampoline. It was very much a good community to grow up with. And
Yeah, dude. So my relation to that is my dad is a military brat, and he was born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. My grandpa's born in Chicago, Illinois. My grandma's born in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well, I think my grandma's from like a small town in Wyoming, and she went to Montana State for college as a nurse. But they all consolidated to Omaha, Nebraska, like Papillion, and Papillion was like the
Yeah.
spot where my dad, as a child, made all of his best friends. He went through his high school years and stuff, and so he's always gradually magnetized himself back to Papillion, and that's where he's at right now, and that's why I grew up there. He loves it so
Mhm.
much, but he's lived in all across the world. He's lived in Turkey, he's lived in
Oh
California,
wow.
Wyoming, and uh,
Turkey
he,
to California is a pretty big difference.
my dad was born in Wyoming as well. Like my grandpa worked for the Air Force, and they were stationed out there. And yeah, dude, just being a military guy, he's my. A lot of my dad's friends are all military guys. They're all across the globe. So every time they come to town, it's like I meet Jay. I meet all these. The Jay was his neighbor growing up. Just a lot of people. You know what I mean? And so it's good
Yeah.
to have those connections across the world. But it is tough as a child, I bet, to have to leave
Mhm.
your friends and stuff and like find a new group. Because I found that as an older, like I moved to New Zealand and Thailand and Australia, it's like weird to start as the new guy and you have to like I've never had that
Yep.
experience. And so as a military brat, like I assume like you were, like you moved from Kansas and yada yada
Mhm.
yada, you had to go through that in an early age. So I'm experiencing that now in my life, but I bet as
Yep.
you are experiencing it as a child is that
I
is
mean,
a
it has its pros and its cons. I
mhm.
think I became very adaptable, and I can make friends pretty quickly, and I think that has helped me just as a very social butterfly, a very sociable person.
Yeah.
You can get along with, and just can be there for people. So,
Yeah. Question four is what was your elementary school slash high school years like? Like
uh,
what type of life did you lead? Did you do sports? And
yeah, I feel like I was a pretty active kid growing up. Um, Elementary school, I mean, it was the soccer, basketball, trying to figure out what you like.
yeah,
Maybe some running every now and then you do like the school events of like the 5K or the 3K or whatever they offered.
5K.
Um, yeah, like the turkey trot 5K that schools will do, like just as a fundraiser kind of
Wow,
thing, like
my
active,
elementary school was not as active. I can tell you that much.
or like the jump rope for hearts or something
Oh, we
like
had
that.
that. We had hoops for
Hoops,
hearts,
right? Yeah,
and jump rope for hearts. We had it all.
yeah. So do stuff like that, and then middle school, I think I slowed down a little bit.
What was your high school called?
Michigan,
And middle school called?
my high school,
Yeah, what were they?
high school
Where
was
go to elementary school, middle
um,
school, high school. Do those ones in order.
So us preschool was Trinity Lutheran
Okay.
in Oahu, and then I
Shout
went
out.
to Halekula Elementary School, which is on the Schofield Barracks, and then
Yeah.
I went to Michigan with McDonald Middle School, and then East
McDonald.
Lansing High School. Yep,
Was
East
your
Lansing High School
mascot
for one.
Grimace at McDonald Middle School?
No,
Okay, just
it
checking.
was a Trojan. It was a Trojan.
Good,
But
good.
yeah. Um, and then East Lansing High School for a year for freshman year, and then I moved back to Hawaii for Leilehua Mules. So go Mules!
Go Mules.
And then I graduated from there.
Nice. And now,
But yeah, that was
and then what? College?
oh man, I've been through everywhere to college.
Michigan State, of course.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I want to do, and I'm still not there, still haven't graduated. But I've been to Leeward Community College, to East Lansing Community College, to Michigan State, to University of Hawaii Manoa, and then
Yeah.
to West Oahu, and then to an online called Excelsior University, which is online. So
Sounds like you're
a lot of
a traveling bug. You got the traveling bug.
I I hate staying in the same place, but I also just I went from zoology to animal science to biology to public health management. So it's like
Honestly,
I
if you're feeling
don't know
that
what I
way,
want.
don't rush yourself on school. School is
Yeah,
important, and if you're going to pay for something and invest in yourself, you should do it when you know it's the right move, not because other people tell you to. I
absolutely.
kind of
That's where
rushed.
I'm.
I kind of rushed my college degree, and honestly, it's just you do it at your own pace. Don't let other people influence you on that.
Yeah,
That
for
is a
sure.
huge part of it. But what was the best Halloween costume you had as a kid?
Oh gosh, man, I was looking through my mom's Facebook the other day. Actually, another reason why I use Facebook. But man, the best one versus the most like one that I probably shouldn't have done. Two different things, but I'm trying to think. I the one that comes off the top of the dome. The worst one that I probably definitely should not have been outside for was
I
you
have
know
one of those. Yeah.
the Lone Ranger.
Uh, that sounds like Power Ranger.
No, it's like a Wild West movie with like, um, oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name, but Wild West, and he befriends Johnny Depp's character, who's uh, a Native American, and he his name's Tonto. And so on Halloween, my brother went
No way.
as
Johnny
the
Depp
Lone
did
Ranger.
Redface.
It was like, I mean, white and black. I mean, just stuff like that. So
Okay.
it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
All right.
but no, I know.
Anyway, yeah. Keep going.
Not sure what to say on the podcast here, Corey, but no, but I I went dressed as Tonto, and my brother was the Lone Ranger, so I had the white and black face paint on, and I had a crow on top of my head, and I
Yeah.
had like I was shirtless with like the crow had like hair coming down that was long, and I'll have to send you a picture of it, but it's probably the not most appropriate thing to go out
Dude,
on.
no, actually, the fact that you're talking about this, I hate that I have to say this on the pod, but my grandma, she's an amazing sewer. She's her whole house. I walk down in the basement, and if I was barefoot in the basement, I'd step on a needle. Like my grandma loves
Oh
sewing.
gosh.
Yeah, the whole basement was like a factory. Like you could go down there and she'll make you a sweatshirt right now. She'll go down there and make you a
That's
blanket. That's how my grandma operated. But one time she made Halloween costumes. She made Halloween costumes every year for us. Like she's the sewer,
yeah.
right? She's the golden sewer in my book. But she made me a ghost costume. But instead of making like
Oh no.
a rounded hood, like a ghost hood, she made like she didn't know how to sew it, so she like sewed it where there's a point at the back, and
That's awesome.
it was all white. And my mom worked at the retirement home, and the retirement home in Omaha, if you guess, has probably 25% black people. And walking around in a ghost costume with a pointy hood doesn't look good for a bunch of elderly black
Yeah, no,
people.
no,
And so I was like,
no, no.
walking up and I'd say trick or treat, and looking back at that, dude, horrible, horrible trick, I assume. And I did not mean it. Did not mean it the way my grandma did not intend it for me to go to this retirement home either. So it was just a wild story of events. But my favorite Halloween costume was my grandma made me a turtle shell, and I was a turtle one
Oh,
year.
that's awesome.
I was like
That's awesome.
not a teenage mutant ninja turtle, just like a sea
Masters of
turtle.
Disguise, kind of. Oh, gotcha.
I had a sea turtle costume. I was like that. I was like Crash from Nemo kind of guy. That was my
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
All
That's
right.
what's your next Halloween costume? What are you thinking up for the next year? Any
Oh man,
ideas?
I mean, I've gone as like I was always really bad with decision making, as you can tell from even now, Um, but I'd always like be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, and then it'd be like the day before or the day of, and I'd be like, oh man, I don't know, and then right before. So most of my costumes are like last minute attempts, and
Yeah.
I've gone as like Hawkeye, which is just cargo pants and a black T-shirt with a stick bow, right?
Hey, that's okay.
Um,
I honestly don't didn't even wear anything last Halloween. I don't. I just it's
yeah,
just a question I wrote down. But
no,
I
but
was a car seat one year. I went in my car, took
oh,
the car seat off my car, and I slid it up my legs and put it over my body, and I was the car seat one year.
practical. I
You
like
got
that
it.
one. That was pretty.
The last minute things. They always are the
Yeah,
best. I put the little,
for
the
sure. I think.
headrest has the little headrest car seat. I put that over my ears and
Yeah,
stuff. It's just a car seat.
I like that one. That one's awesome.
That one's
I
good.
um I did go to there was a house on our community that was like the office for like the community, like they worked in there. It wasn't like an actual house, but it was one of the houses. It was just like
Yeah.
an office space for them. You can go in there for any questions and stuff, and they had a competition like the best like costume, the funniest. And so I went one year, and man, I'm gonna hate admitting this, but like pretty like high heels, poodle skirt, like leotard or whatever you call it, pink cowgirl hat, because I wanted to win the competition. And
Yeah.
I did win, so that counts, and it was like a big gift card. And but I went trick or treating, and I
Dude, you
got
put the effort in, you got the results. That's what matters.
so yeah, anything for the gift card. But
Yeah.
man, looking back, like yeah, maybe not. But
Yeah. How did you end up at Camp Erdman?
well, I grew up coming there or going there. And we they offered an Operation Purple, right, for military kids. So I don't want to say it was discounted or just like a week of you know marketing to the military kids, and so that's how my parents heard about it. My older siblings all went, and I was still pretty young, so the first summer that I could go, I believe was 2009, 2010 timeframe, and man, I was excited. Finally got to go. Went, had the time of my life. Funny enough, I want to say I had two female counselors. Alexis and Morgan were their names. My brother and I were in the same cabin. We had them and had a blast, and then kept going there for several summers. And then I was like, man, I really want to work there. And applied, got in, worked there, and I was still 17, graduating high school. So I would show up every day after, because it was like the last week of school. So we were all practicing to walk the stage. And so I would walk the stage, practice, and then I'd go straight to Erdman, stay till like 9, 10 p.m., drive all the way back home, and then do the same thing for like a whole week. And yeah, had a bunch of fun, loved it. And very, very small summer. We were only getting paid like 185 a week or something like that. And our staff was like 30, like, or like for the counselors, like just enough to get by barely. Because then
What year did you start? What year did you start?
2020. As a camper or as a counselor?
As an employee.
I would 2021.
What year did you start as a camper?
I think 09 or 10, 2009 or 2010. One
So
of those.
you're deep in the business.
Well, I mean, I went to Michigan, so I missed a few years. So,
Okay,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was there in 2013, which was the first year Battle Challenge started. So I mean, I was there
What year
for
did you say?
2013 when Battle Challenge started. I was there for that. I
You
remember
were?
that.
What
So
was that like? How was that for all our Camp Bourbon listeners?
I don't remember exactly like
If
all
you were
the
to
ins and
if you
outs.
were to just like put a dot on it, put a cherry on top, just
Um,
for your first year.
gosh, see, I want to say stuff, but I don't even really like remember. I remember getting a cow, so they kept my team, right? Um, and I remember being a lot of fun. But other than that, I don't even really remember what all came from that. I want to say that there was a big slip and slide that we would do, and that was part of like the battle challenge.
Oh
But
yeah,
other than that, yeah, I think it was like some kickball form or something like that. But
just something simple.
yeah,
But
no,
Battle Challenge has evolved.
big time
Explain
involved.
the
Yep.
evolution as for a guy who joined in 2019 myself. I don't understand what it's been like as you yourself being there for a couple years for it, maybe move to Michigan or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, it because I did it in 2013 and then I left in 2014 for a few years. So like again, it was like 1 year. That's probably why I don't remember it all that well. But it was pretty simple in the sense of like we did a few games. I don't think it was throughout the week and then a final relay at that point. But it has evolved into a big time. All the kids who know about it like come back for it pretty much. Um, have specific games and then a big winner take all relay at the end, which has over the years changed and added to and taken away. And I think it'll even be changing this summer. I'm not sure how, but I've heard talks about it changing a little bit. But just the evolution has been kind of crazy and very drastic compared to what it used to be.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I only know a fraction of the fun. I've only been there for 2 summers total, actually.
Oh wow.
2019 and 2022, and every time I've been there since then, I've worked 8 seasons total, but most of it's just fall and spring. Because fall and spring is the best time to be at Erdman.
I would say fall over this spring.
Oh,
Truly, I think
I
the fall.
I would say both because you don't have to work 122 hours a week as a counselor.
Oh yeah, true for sure.
Your work, you get your own house, one,
Yep.
as an employee in the fall and spring at Erdman, and then you don't have to be around the kids 24/7 is number two. I don't know how much more
Yeah,
you. It's
and you're not like
actually,
their sole provider. Like they have
yeah,
chaperones that come with them.
it's not 24/7. Sorry, it's 22/7. So
Yeah,
yeah, you have
which
to be
is
around the
still,
kids 22 6 ish
yeah.
actually. But that's
It's
you get paid $400 a week.
yeah.
But when I started, it was $180 a week.
Yep, same.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely got. I cannot. So the amount of stuff that I look back on, I cannot believe that I stayed in what they had because I was
Yeah.
18 and it was kind of like my first job, pretty much, and a little bit away from home, a little bit of independence, and so like 180, 185 a week, and then I was day camp counselor.
And you're on the beach, and
Well,
you get rent for free
like of
and
course,
food. So it's like
and
it's worth it in a way.
it, and yes, of course. I don't want to sound like spoiled, but like I grew up living here, so it was like I've been to those, which is like awesome, and I loved it
It's
regardless.
not a lot of money for living there, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but no, but I'm talking about like when I was day camp counselor, we once or twice a week we'd have to like get up at 5 a.m. to ride the bus to go pick up kids from all around the island, come back for day camp, and then we would have day camp from like 8:30 to 4:30, and then we'd have to go back to our res camp kids, and then wake up the next morning with the res camp kids. And we were like, go go go, move the small kids, go go go, and never like it was a lot.
That's classic Camp
Uh,
Erdman. They work you like a mule.
yeah, exhausted, and it's evolved now because now it's like if you work day camp once a week, or like you work day camp 1 week out of the summer, and when you're off at 4:30, you're off and you can leave.
Yeah,
So like
it's nice. It's like
it's
OSHA
evolved.
came in and OSHA was like, "All right, we gotta clean up some
Yeah.
stuff," because it was unlivable for a little bit. I'm sure you know because we started. I started in 2019. You started in 2021, but I didn't hear changes happen until 2022. And I
Yeah,
don't
I would
know.
say 2023 was a big change. It seemed like everyone really like that was a good summer coming to visit. I
They had
really
a
like that.
new YMCA
Exact.
director at the time. Exec, yeah. The new executive of
Yeah.
the Honolulu branch was like, "Hey, we actually should pay these guys, so good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them."
Absolutely.
And Drew was a big our good buddy Drew, who was a big voice for us in that moment. So
Yeah.
and now Drew's doing better and better. He's in Minnesota.
Yeah, he
Um,
looks like he's loving life. He I just saw a picture of him like in a lawn chair out in his yard just staring out. Like he just looks like he's where he belongs right now. So
he's got a photo in a lawn chair. Man, I
yeah,
got to invite Drew on the pod. I haven't even thought about it.
yeah, you do.
I feel like Drew would be like me. I don't know, you know. So I haven't hit him up yet, but maybe I'll give it a go. You ready for question 6? Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite memories we made during the window of the time we shared
Oh
together?
goodness. Um
It doesn't have to be a favorite. It could just be one that just hit your head right now.
trying to think.
Just be any memory
I would say, I mean, just sitting outside and like
on the
we
patio.
tried to level up an area, and we because we ended up, you guys had taken down the deck and we were sitting on the ground and stuff like that, and you and Cam had really like put all the chairs up, and we would just sit out there and talk, and I remember that, and I really
We were
liked
like as much seating as possible because that means more people
it. Yeah.
for what did Cam call it? What was his like
Oh,
meeting? The meeting thing he really wanted to do.
I don't I don't
Remember what I'm
remember
talking
the
about?
Holly
No, it
Hollow or
wasn't.
something.
No, it was like community forum. I think that's exactly what it was.
Oh yeah, the
Community
forum,
forum.
the Friday forum. Yes,
Wednesday forum?
that
Sure it wasn't Wednesday?
it might have been.
I think it was Wednesday
I,
forum.
I'm
But
not saying,
Friday
but like
forum kind of slaps. I think Cam's
I was
gotta
about to say that
take
might
some
be
hints if
better.
he's listening right now. Friday forum?
I'm a Tuesday now. I think, and it was a lot of fun.
It might have been Tuesday
Just
forum. Yeah.
'cause, yeah, I think it was Tuesday now that I think
Yeah.
about it. But he would like ask a deep question. We'd all go around. Man, I did that. And that was a lot of fun and good getting to know everybody.
But that's not your favorite memory. Your favorite memory is just hanging out there on the patio.
Hanging out. Yeah, just we would all
Honestly,
sit down
yeah.
and talk. And, like the Holly Crawls too, of just like everybody being around and
I put
just
my music
enjoying.
on the speaker just on the table early morning, drinking my coffee, and you'd sit down. kind of deal.
Yep.
It was a great
Yeah.
vibe. The chicken would be
It
over
was
there,
a
and he'd
great.
be like, the chicken would put his fucking chalk up. Yeah, but it was a good
No,
time.
and just like the memories of like my. Do you remember my Ernie from that season? Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
My
What
Ernie.
was Erdy? Explain to the listeners what an Erdy is before you tell me what yours was.
So every season, like any weird quirky thing that you do or anything that like would be funny that they think of at the end of the season, they would it's like a most likely to. And so it's like Spurdy is spring Erdy, Ferdy is fall Erdy, and then summer Erdy, right? And it would be like most likely to do this or most likely to have this. And mine was for that season, most likely to come home without a deck. Because like that's probably like the funniest thing.
Yeah, dude.
Is I left for the work day, right? And you had moved the facilities. And I come back and it's like 4 in the afternoon and our deck is gone. Because it had been falling apart. But it was just on the ground.
You
I
know,
was like,
what's the
what the
funniest thing about that is me and Ryan and Drew and I think Michaela, and a few other workers. Emma, I think Emma came, and we hiked up the waterfall, and we went all the way to the cliff's edge, like the highest peak of Camp Erdman's like hike, like you wouldn't take tourists or kids over here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We went all the way up there and just saw the view, and we got back, and Cam's over there, deck's gone, deck's deck's destroyed, and the water spout is broken, and so he's like
No.
calling the plumber, and but the deck was falling apart, and
It was fun.
one person could step on that deck and it would be a gonzo. So good
Well,
on
now that I
him.
think
And then the plumber came and everything was fixed and we had a spout. So but
yeah.
that deck was gone for most of the time we lived together.
Yeah, and then we built the stairs. I mean, it's still there.
You did build
The
the stairs.
are.
Me and you went hard on those
Yeah,
stairs.
yeah, yeah. We did. And got the bathroom. We leveled it up quite a bit.
We
And,
did. We
now that,
reinstalled the toilet. We put the
oh man,
little
thank
seal
goodness,
down
because
there. I don't even
that
remember.
was so bad.
That toilet screamed all night. It was like had a singing noise to it. Michaela used to live in
Well,
there in 2022, and so the fact that I moved in there was funny because I was like, okay, we're changing this toilet out, and this was the greatest thing that could ever happen to that entire house. The toilet,
Oh,
a new toilet in
I
that
remember
place felt like a new house.
yeah. Plus, it was green, and like the seat was green, but like it had black on it, like mold. Like it was
Oh
just. You remember the
yeah.
green seat?
Everywhere
And
I
it
go
was.
recently seems to have mold in the bathroom. Like the house I live in now, we have two bathrooms. We just don't use the other one.
Yeah.
But
Dang.
but we're talking about renovating it. I'm like, dude, we could just buy it. The landlord,
Yeah.
we don't want to hit the landlord up about it because we only pay him like X amount of money, 3 digits in California. It's kind of low, and so we were
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
we'll just renovate it ourselves, but we got to front the money.
Yeah.
One of the roommates needs to get like more work and money in his pocket to be able to contribute to that
Yeah.
sort of project. So that's just how it rolls around these parts. But we did amazing in Hall AC. We've done wonders to it since
Yeah.
2022 when Michaela lived there.
Well, I'll have to send you some. I got a lot of pictures to send you so you can see what it looks like now because it is. It's definitely looking a little good now. I have a little water cooler, the 5 gallon Menehune water cooler in the back, and it's
Oh,
like
nice.
I moved the AC, so I filled that hole where the AC was and moved it up top, so now you can actually fit like
Does the
more beds there.
Menehune water cooler do hot water and cold water?
Uh-huh.
Dude, the hot water for instant coffee would be so nice in
Yeah.
that Hall A. That's what I've been
Yeah.
using
So
recently. I have the same thing. I have a hot water like 5 gallon jug you fill up. It costs
yeah,
25
nice.
cents down the street. We go down the street, put a quarter in the
Oh
machine,
wow.
it fills 5 gallons. We just reuse the
Wow.
bottle, the big blue bottle. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You ready for the next question?
Well, real quick, I wanted to ask you if you remember
Yeah.
this. I want to say it was you because again the seasons meshed together when people went and hiked the hike and they were camping up there. Were you there for that?
Yeah,
They like
I've hiked the
were
hike
you, and they
multiple
went up.
times.
Well, no, you and I stayed down, I think, and we were like walking to mess with them. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do remember Michaela sleeping up there in her hammock one night, and then
And
I
I want to
didn't
say that you and I
go.
were like
And then
walking.
yeah, I do. We
Yeah,
tried to walk you that when we got a little bit of something, but like they were just so far, so it was like
But then
crunchy.
they were like, they told us later that they got the crap scared out of them because they didn't like it would freak them out.
Yeah. And I think we were
But
just hanging out on the side of the house by the broken ass
yeah,
fence.
well, that fence is gone now. It's not there anymore. It fell over.
Yeah, so now it's just open to the public.
Just open to the public, which we have a lot of homeless that have walked by, so it's a little sketchy. But
Camp Erdman, man, you gotta love that. You could easily
yeah,
toss up a privacy screen, right? You could buy something off Amazon or Temu, something. I
I'm
don't know if I would
I'm
do
sure.
it, do the whole open to the road thing, but honestly,
Yeah,
it's a good place to live, regardless.
yeah,
Are you ready for the next one? You ready for it?
I am. I am.
Okay, what in your young life was your biggest fear as a child, like when you were really little? Up to like 6 years old, say. 8 years old, 14 years old.
8 years old, biggest fear. Well, 8 years old, shoot, probably sleeping in the dark alone. At
Yeah?
that age, I
You had a
even
nightlight?
now, like I did for a while, and then as I got older, like now I have to have it pitch black to sleep. But
Yeah.
gosh, the nighttime stuff freaks me out, especially at Erdman. I've had some scary experiences up there at night.
Everybody has
You hear
those
all
little at Erdman. Everybody has those
the
little
my
like maybe
yeah,
maybe religion's right. Maybe there's is an extra, everybody has that at Erdman.
yeah, yeah. No, my in the I don't know if you want to hear it, but it was crazy. It's very vivid. But
It's
you
up
want
to
me to share
you.
it on here? I would.
It's up to you,
I'll
dude.
share.
It's your story,
It
not
was.
mine.
I was in the annex in my bed, right, and it was the closest one in the bathroom. And it's pretty dark, pretty late. Only one in there, right? And I woke up and there was this shadow figure about 5 feet from my bed staring at me, right?
Yeah.
And of course, I do what any logical person would do, and I was like, "Hello, like, who are you?" Right? And it backs up. And there used to be those lockers in that corner, and it like back crawls up those lockers and perches on top. And like I get up and turn on like the fairy lights that we had in that room, gone. Right. I slept with lights on for 3 days. That was the freakiest experience I've ever had. Very vivid, very surreal.
I saw the same man in the annex. I shit you not, used to live there during 2022
Really?
fall, and I was sleeping on the like my bed and the annex couch. For people asking or curious about what the annex is, it's the building that attaches to the main office where you walk in and check in. It's just a side piece. And I'm sitting there on the annex, or in my bed in the annex, which is the staff hallway where four dudes live in a compact environment with one bathroom. But I'm laying in my bed, and on the couch stands up a man in a silhouette, like black, just
Black silhouette.
black silhouette man, stands up off the couch and just angles his body right at me. And then also the lockers are in the background. So when you started explaining the story, it sounds like the silhouette man he's a real guy. He's
Yeah.
like the Slender Man
I
at
I
Camp
don't know.
Erdman. I don't know. It
I don't
sounds
know.
weird that
I
you
should
said you
right
have
after
that.
that one. Dang, that's crazy.
My roommate Jake Haney, I told him about it at the time. I was like, dude, did you see? Is there a guy right there? Like I was like, we were both awake, and I was like, do you see that? But no, he didn't see it, and I don't know what was going on. It's interesting that you just brought that up because it brought back a flashback for me. Maybe it's a
Dang,
thing.
well, there goes my sleep for the night. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're at least not there right now. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not.
The annex,
No,
you're not at
not.
least in. Who's living in the annex right now? It'd be funny to tell them about this.
Oh gosh, maybe I should. It's a guy from the kitchen and then another one of the program staff. So it's,
Two?
it's just two guys in there. Well,
Wow.
there were three.
Lucky.
There were
Lucky
three.
guys.
So it was it's Crow and me and C, and then Crow would sleep at his girlfriend's every night, and so I was alone in there, right? Which was fine. But then I became like really, really close with the guy in the annex because there were three of them,
Yeah.
and he just things weren't going great for him in the annex, and so I was like, "Come and move in here." So that's why we got a third in C because I had to move in, put the bunk bed up and others. Now we have that, so that's why he moved into there. So
Yeah. Well, throwing it back to what was your biggest fear as a child? What is your biggest excitement as a child? Like in the 4 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old. What were you most excited for as a young Nathan Winston?
Gosh, probably Legos. Something that's probably stupid to me now, but
Yeah, of course.
no,
Okay,
growing up, I feel like every kid wishes to grow up, and then you grow up and you wish you could be younger. So I'm sure that was.
so what was your biggest fear and your most anticipating thing in the window that we knew each other? Maybe it was heights at the ropes course. Maybe you were excited to go to the beach on a Saturday. I don't know, but that basically what I was asking about when you were young. What was it during the window we knew each other, like 2024 to 2025?
Fear would probably be what's next, and I think that I still have that fear now. I'm still at Erdman. I'm still trying to figure out what's next. What do I need to do? What is my next adventure? And I think that scares me a lot. And I do have an exciting opportunity this summer, which I'm excited for. But it scares me nonetheless to move on, to get out and be done with Erdman for the time
Yeah.
being. And
What
the
excited
most
you
exciting.
most during that time? Like since I've left, you had like something going on, but now I'm gone and you changed that excitement. But while we were together, what was most exciting, or what was most
Probably off
exciting?
time. I
Yeah,
like being
there
having.
you go.
I would say I'm a big people person. I love being around people, and I think
Yeah,
that my off time to be around people like that I was friends with and stuff was probably my most excitement that I had. Um,
and now,
and yeah,
now it's
and
probably
now
still the same stress of what's next and stuff. But
it is, but I have an exciting opportunity. I'm going to be a backpacking lead guide, a trip guide for this summer at Yellowstone. So I'll be
oh,
taking
really?
seventh
You
and
got a
eighth.
gig in
Yep.
Yellowstone?
So
That sounds
yep. So I'll
sick.
be taking a few seventh and eighth graders on a backpacking trip, and I'll do that three. It's 3 2-week trips, so I'll be doing that for the whole summer. So I'm really excited. I'll be out in Jackson Hole training, and then I'll drive from Yellowstone, and the kids will arrive at Yellowstone. They'll leave Bozeman, Montana. So I'll be around that area for a while.
Nice. That's cool,
Yeah,
dude.
so I'm excited for that.
Well, that's a big risk, but what's the biggest risk you've ever taken besides maybe moving to Yellowstone coming up in your life?
Biggest risk ever, probably
Biggest
jumping out of
risk
a plane.
jumping out of a plane, yeah.
It's
Especially
probably a
you.
big risk.
Did you do that
Skydiving.
one in did you jump out of the plane at Dillingham?
Yep, I did go jump,
Right down the
which is
street
where
from camp?
the crashes have happened there before, which is unfortunate. But I was like, how many times have they done this? They do it 20 times a day, so
Yeah.
you know it can happen anywhere.
Can really do. Could really happen anywhere for sure. Dude, I can't believe you did that. I've always like wanted to do that. And then I heard about the GoPro fees and like $200 more to just film it. And
Yeah. Well, I got lucky
I'm like,
enough.
dude,
I
if
had
I'm doing it, I'm filming it. Like, jumping out of an
well,
airplane?
yeah.
Duh, I want that
Well,
footage.
we know people now that work there, and I knew one of the girls that I worked with. Her boyfriend at the time worked there, and so he was able to do it to where I had to pay for the jump, but then they recorded it for free. So it was
Oh,
like a
okay.
cool little like employee. And now like Liv works there now,
Yeah.
and her boyfriend works there. I don't know if you know Aubrey, but she started working there.
I've heard of her. I
All the,
think she's worked every off season that I've not
yeah.
worked there.
So
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. That's a good answer. I like it. Um, what's something about you that strangers or listeners wouldn't know about you if they didn't actually like know you in person? Like the listeners here, the strangers, anybody. What's something that you could share that they don't know?
uh, I mean, something fun about. I mean, not fun, but I mean, I have Tourette's. You remember that? So like, uh, I mean, you can see me on the Zoom right now having tics, but that's something maybe listeners don't know. But maybe that, or you know, I'm tall. Maybe
How
that.
tall are you?
Well, man, the doctors measured me short today, but I'm 6'2". But they
They
said I was
measured
six
you
one.
short today? What do you,
They
they
measured
say?
me as 6'1". I always get like 6'1", 6'2", or 6'3" every time I go to the doctor, and it's like pick
Dude,
one, please.
every time I go to the doctor, they measure me at 5'11". I'm like, 5'12"? Is that what you mean? 5'12"?
Yeah,
It's my little
yeah,
joke with the doc. I'm like, come on, man.
yep,
Give me an extra inch. Come on.
yep. Please.
Yeah, come on, dude. Trying to be 6 foot. 5'11", 5'12", whatever. What have you.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a good height, though. I feel like I'm just at
Yeah,
the cusp of being a dog.
yeah.
But I'm just a puppy.
Uh,
uh, what's an accomplishment you've had recently that I might not know about?
accomplishment that I've had.
Something you're proud of that I
I would
don't
say
know.
getting the job at Yellowstone. I mean, I kind of told you about that, but that's
Yeah.
to me that is an accomplishment because I'm trying to move on from Camp Erdman a little bit, trying to broaden my wings out of there.
Yeah.
And that's an accomplishment for me to one make that step and soon take that. And I think that that is something that I am proud of myself for getting and for doing. So,
That's a good one.
yeah.
I feel like I ask a lot of like serious questions, and sometimes I don't answer them back. And so, I guess the greatest accomplishment for me, because I don't mean to put you on the spot, is the fact that I have a routine now. Like I have been working at the new job I moved to California a month ago, and I got a job. And for the first 3 weeks, I didn't have a job. And so my biggest accomplishment right now is to work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then every other week I get Thursday off, but I work 5:45 a.m. To 9:35 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, so 4 hours each. So I get Thursday
Yeah.
off, but I got to work the weekends pretty early. I think it's good and healthy for me, but my greatest accomplishment right now is to have a routine because I haven't had a job, technically a paycheck, since January 8th when I was in Byron Bay,
Oh,
Australia.
wow.
Uh, I left Byron Bay, Australia, and didn't know what I was going to do, and now I'm finally working again, so I'm happy about that. It's my biggest
Well, good. I'm
accomplishment.
happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. A routine is something that I've been wanting to make, but it's hard. Erdman, schedule changes, and sometimes you work, start at 8:30 a.m. end to 8 p.m., and then you'll have breaks in between. So you
Yeah.
never know. You know, it's hard to have that strict schedule, but I think that that's a goal for mine. So I'm happy that you're there and you're able to accomplish that.
Yeah, dude. And it's great because all my coworkers are amazing. That's the best part. When everybody's
Yeah,
supportive and like taking care of you, everybody speaks Spanish, but they tell me what they said. It's like couldn't ask for better. I don't want people not let me know what's going on. So for them to try to teach me Spanish at the same time as speaking Spanish in front of me and like I'm engaging and I'm gonna learn really quick. That's really
yeah.
great. Uh, moving on to question 13. What business would you start if you had to start a brand new business tomorrow? What would you sell, solve, build, or serve?
Man, I actually this is a great question because I've been like I'm starting to. It's something that I've always thought about. You see your Instagram reels or TikToks and stuff like that, where you'll see like, oh, hey, I started a business at this
Yeah.
age. This I retired by this age, and it's
Yeah.
really always been like, man, I want to do this, and my mindset right now is I want to retire by like the age 30 or something like that. I want to be able to start a business, and although like I have a few different ideas of like you know not really exact like what I'm going to sell, but like ways of how I do it on different ideas on that. Gosh, it's hard because I don't I want to say stuff, but I also don't know how to say it, kind of thing. But
What's an idea you've had recently, maybe with a friend, that you were like, "Oh, we could easily do that and sell, make a lot of money." Like something simple.
uh,
Like you don't have to say everything that you've thought of ever before,
I
but
did
something. You know what I mean?
I did talk to somebody, and he actually does it, and he does make money from it. It's like it's a little business he started, but he and I had a really good conversation about it, and a really smart guy. And it's more like you advertise that you're able to like get contracts for them and like be the middleman, and like they'll pay you to make contract or find contracts for them, and then you kind of like middleman it, and then they pay you for that. And so like I was like talking to him about like government contracting and like getting bigger and deeper into that aspect of it. And I thought that was really cool. But I would love like a to create a company that like is conservation for like land and natural resources, stuff like that, animals and all that. I'm a big animal guy, so if I could find a way to create a business or company that focuses on that, I would. Um,
Nice, dude. That'd be
that's through like
awesome.
middleman contracts for like animal friendly companies and stuff like that. So I would.
Yeah, that reminds me of what they do in South Carolina and North Carolina for the turtles. Like,
Mm,
I feel like Hawaii probably has a lot of business in that world, but I feel like you'd be a great guy to start and run a turtle conservation. Like this is where you cannot go on the beach right here because this is turtle habitat territory. Like if you can get the people, the tourists, to just stay off this beach, I feel like that'd be really, really good for you. I feel like that's what I'm thinking of when you speak this business. It reminds me of the South Carolina, North Carolina people, and you're there. So
yeah, I love North Carolina. Is probably one of the most beautiful states to me. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
dude. First thing you gotta do is just create an Instagram account that says this is turtle habitat, and just throw up some flags. Buy some flags and just buy a badge and enforce it.
Yeah.
But you got to get some donations and investors and that type of thing.
Also,
that sounds like a good part to be in.
Yeah, I started a photography account on Instagram not too long ago, and I love photography, and if I can get into that too, I would. Maybe conservation through photography kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Honestly, yeah, that would be the Instagram. That would be the exact nonprofit, I assume. Whatever you have to do. Save the turtles. Save the turtles. Yeah. That's why we changed our straws, supposedly. Okay, what would you do if you won the lottery?
Oh man,
save most of it. Put in some type of savings, because I know that if I have it, I'll probably try and spend it. Depending on how much I want to travel the world, and that is the biggest dream of mine, is to go everywhere and do everything. I don't want to be. I'm not. I'm fit. Like I know I'm not capable of sitting down for a 9 to 5. I want to travel the world, be out and indoors, meet new people, go through new cultures, and just. There's so much that I could learn from just going everywhere. So that's what I want to do. That's what I would do if I won the lottery.
That's a good answer. What's realistically next on your bucket list?
Hit as many national parks as I can. I feel like it's a realistic goal. Probably and not even in United States, but I'm buying all this backpacking gear. I'm gonna go to Yellowstone, learn how to backpack.
You should go to Thailand.
Yeah, and I think that after I finish Yellowstone, I want to travel somewhere, and Thailand may be an opportunity for me. So
yeah, my cousin lives out there. He owns a pottery studio, and he would gladly teach you how to sculpt the pot.
I would learn how to do that. You ever seen the movie Ghost?
What is it? Movie what?
The movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze. The potteries. It was a joke.
I'll watch it. I'll have to check it out. But he would love to have you out there for sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll have to look into that. I would.
Yeah. What's giving or creating or bringing you the most peace right now in life?
Probably getting off island. I think that is creating a sense of peace for me as moving on to bigger, better things. I think that is. I'm very calm about it. I'm nervous. I'm scared, but it is. There's a peace, calmness to that. So.
Yeah. Nice.
How about you?
For me, right now, probably just having that routine like I was speaking about, but more than that, I have some cats. My roommate has some cats, and they're kind of nice to have around. They like to get my work clothes all hairy, but I try to lint roll it off, whatever. But they're pretty good.
You'll find this funny. Inside behind me, my parents have 25 cats.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they a lot of foster fails. A few fosters that are in there that need to find new homes. But my mom worked for a cat shelter for a while, so we've a ton of them. So
that'll happen.
Yeah, but they're cute. They're adorable.
Yeah. Is there anything I wish or you wish that I would have asked you or brought up so far?
After listening to you talk to a previous guest, you would ask them if you guys ever disagreed about something. And I was like, man, I hope he asked me that, because I wonder if there's anything. And I was thinking about it. I was gonna make a joke and be like, yeah.
Is there anything that we've disagreed on?
We disagreed on who should win the Huskers games, man. There's some times.
Really? I bet I had one answer every time. I bet I was very single-sided.
No, I just thought I'd mess with you with that, like vote for somebody else. But
Oh yeah,
no, wouldn't say any disagreements. But more as a joke.
I like that you remember that from a previous podcast. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I have like a notebook like I have right here, and every person has a single page. Like I always try to like research a person
Oh,
and talk. But and then there's obviously questions like that that line up with who like just my template. But
yeah.
I took that one out because I was like, I don't necessarily want to feel like every person I'm talking to I have a disagreement with. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
I was like, that feels a little too much, but I'm glad you asked
No,
that.
I get.
Right? I'm glad you asked that because it makes me feel like I should ask that more. Because that's
It,
a
like,
tough
brings up.
question to answer, right?
Well, it brings up like not everything is perfect. Like you had said earlier about wanting the back room, and I'm sure that was probably something that you're like, man, I wish that he, stuff like that. So
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? I was very content with my red curtain in the front room.
I feel like you loved it.
Do you have any questions for me? Like I've done a lot of things since whatever, but if you
Yeah, I
have any
want to know
questions,
about
I
Australia. You were there for a while.
yeah, dude, I lived in Byron Bay. I'm sure you heard it on if you listened to a podcast before, but it was sick, dude. I was like working at a glamping accommodation, and I was like the booking.com guy. We had the work phone. And then one time a guy knocked on the door at 1 a.m. and was like super interested in like checking in. And then I was like,
Oh,
he didn't know English that well, and I was like, dude, you just check in, like the key is in the door, kind of thing. At this point in the night, and then he came back
yeah.
and knocking at 3 a.m. and he's like, hey, you got a phone charger? I was like, dude, phone charger at 3 in the morning? I'm trying to sleep, dude. He knew where I
Yeah.
lived though at that point. I lived in like the main house, like where you go and
Okay.
make some breakfast and stuff. That was where I
Yeah.
lived, and that's where everybody consolidated. And I just had a bedroom on the side,
Okay.
so it was
That's
kind of
hard.
tough. You always felt like you were invested in the business, but it was fun in the same
Yeah.
time. My coworker Maddie lived in the cabin, and well, she had like a trailer, like a camper van that my boss bought for her to live in. And she lived there, and I
Yeah.
was like, I wanted to live there so bad. 'Cause she had a little yard. She had a dog. Her dog Teddy was the best. It was a good little time. And then after that, I just kind of me and Michaela traveled to Australia for like a month and a half, just doing it on a budget, but making it work. Aussie house sitters and I move a transfer in. It's fun.
Good for you guys. It looked like a lot of fun. I saw pictures, and I've been to Sydney, but that's about it. And beautiful and amazing. And I want to go back to Australia. So I'm jealous, but happy you guys were able to do that.
Yeah, man, it was a hoot. I would go back. Sorry,
There you go.
had a little cough. I had a little popcorn, and it's caught
It's
my
all right. You'll
throat.
edit it out later.
No, I'll just leave it in. To be honest, a little cough. Um, but yeah, it was a good time. I think you'd enjoy Australia.
Yeah, I want my next goal. Like, I don't know. I have a few dream places, but I've been like writing it down. And I think New Zealand, Thailand. There was I don't know, it was like Canadian Rockies or somebody said that where it's just a beautiful, like no cell service, a beautiful landscape. So I'm trying to research places and where I want to go. England, of course. Try to get out there, backpack. Just I've never like been outside of the country other than like with my family, and so I want to go do like an independent travel, maybe stay in a hostel or two, and
Yeah,
just check out the world, meet people. So,
yeah, dude. That's what life's all about. It's about doing what you got to do for yourself. So, especially exploring the world, you got to meet cultures and not just have to have people tell you about it.
absolutely.
But also pay attention in history class if you're a kid listening. You know what I mean? Make sure you know what's up.
Yeah.
Um, that's all I really have written down. I wrote a bunch of things down. I mean, in the intro of this episode, I wrote that you were in a cow, part of a cow, and live with me and 3D printed houses. I'm actually really curious about you 3D printing houses. Do you have a Shrek butt as the dispenser or whatever? Have you seen the reels that I'm talking about?
I have seen the rules, so it's a little different than that. And we actually, that I mean, from what I told you, things have kind of shifted a little bit since I told you that. So I've worked for my dad's business, and it's SAGE, Sustainable Advancement of Green Energy, and I work as the biomanufacturer and outreach guy. And so, doing a lot of research on uh, using bio waste as building components, and melting it or shrinking it down into using it for, and I'm not sure how much detail I can go into, but like using it for building. And they've done it for before, in different ways of just coconut husks as like concrete kind of thing, but like you mix other materials in there, and so like
Whoa, that's
stuff
cool.
like that is but and that was kind of the dream before, and I think it is being used, but I think that we've kind of like, as the middleman company, kind of like shifted away. I'm not sure totally what's going on. I'm not as involved with the company as I used to be, but I think after this summer I'll be getting back into being involved with the company some more. So uh, but yeah, so you used to like do the research on it, but right now it has slowed down on that aspect.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's still pretty cool to do research.
yeah. It sounds like a cool company to be involved with.
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot.
No Shrek dispenser though.
Not yet, but I will recommend. I recommend that we. Have you ever seen the toothpaste ones where they attach it to the
Yeah.
toothpaste?
Yep.
I think that'd be a giant one of those. We can
Yeah.
3D print a giant one.
That'd be a good one. Shrek's a little extreme. He's like, it's the toothpaste though. That'd be a good one. That'd make more
Yeah.
sense.
Uh,
You just gotta have a toothbrush nearby, big one, just in case. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't have any more questions for you, and if you don't have any questions for me, I think that's a wrap. But
Yeah.
I'm
I
open
appreciate
ears.
you. No, I don't have anything for you. I just appreciate you having me on, and it was great catching up with you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for helping me grow my portfolio and being part and bringing your own lawn chair. I think a big part of before we end this and wrap it up, I've had one other person bring their actual own lawn chair. So
Yep.
I'm glad that you have a lawn chair and are able to
Well,
supply.
repping some Michigan State on there.
Oh, there you go. See, if
Yeah.
I wish I had a Nebraska logo on there, but there's the flag right in the background for you.
You have to get one. Get one for your lawn chair,
Honestly, I should. I just buy a $5 Walmart lawn chair and think it's good enough. But
or at least make it your backdrop. You got to hang it up like right behind you.
oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. I think that's all we have. That's a wrap.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, great talking to you. Tell Michaela I say hello.
Will do.